So, good evening and welcome to the session for discussion with students of SPA Delhi. This is a gate what after gate series that ExamAssure will be conducting, and today is the SPA Delhi session that we will be having. With us today, we have a few students who were a part of ExamAssure last year, as well as a few other students who are currently pursuing their masters from SPA Delhi. So we have Christina from Urban Planning, we have Devika from Urban Planning, we have Runal and Sami from Environmental Planning Department, we have Prabaldeep from Regional Planning Department, we have Sandeepan from the Industrial Design Department. We have a few other students as well from Urban Design and BEM who will be joining us shortly. So I think we can begin with the session for now. So what we will proceed through is we will have a question answer session with all of you guys first, and then all the participants can ask questions, whatever doubts they have, they may ask those. So to begin with, let us quickly start with the session today. Now to begin with, let us start with the environmental planning department for Runal and Sami. We would like to know in terms of how is your experience been with respect to the branch of environmental planning, and how is it different, or how is it different from what you had thought while enrolling for the same? Yes, please.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, I would also request you to switch on your cameras.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. When I enrolled for environmental planning, I didn't specifically know what planning was. Okay, so the environment part is something that I was interested in, but the planning part is something that I found out when I came to SPA and we started working. So over the semester, I actually experienced what planning is. We understand that it's at a bigger level than architecture. That is basically the concept. But yeah, how we work with planning, it's completely different from design. It's about a city and all those things we figured out once the course started. My overall experience with the department is it's been very nice. Basically, we have an integrated semester before, and now we have this. It's only been like 2-3 weeks, rather 1 month since we've started our department, that is environmental planning, and we have like really nice teachers, very helpful, friendly people. So it's been good. I think that's it from my side for this part.
Sami, what about you? Would you like to share some experience of yours? Yes, Sami. Sami, you're on mute. Okay, we'll move on to Christina and Devika with the same question. With respect to your department, what is your perspective, and how is it different from what you had thought? Yes, Christina and Devika, any one of you may start.
Yeah, hi, I'm Devika. So I'm from architecture background. I really like, so I have an idea while I'm doing masters, I want to pursue it in either in urban design or urban planning. But then I go to work in a government sector. I did my internship in Tulip. So from there only I got some idea like what it will be about urban planning. So like Mrinal said, the first semester it was an integrated semester. So which all the 5 planning disciplines with specializations in urban planning, regional planning, housing, transport, environmental, we all were studying together. And first they were introduced as the first project was area appreciation. So there we studied about how to appreciate an area. Then we prepared then we go then we started doing our main project. It was to develop an outline development plan for 3 cities in Maharashtra, that is Parbani, Jalna, and Ahmednagar. So the journey was really nice. Like from a design perspective, we came into a planning aspect. Like we were looking into the different aspects like governance, um, then tourism, housing, all those. So the first semester we all did it together. Then from second semester onwards, we came into our own respective departments. So like Mrinal said, we enrolled into our own respective departments from the last month only. So for this semester, we are preparing a master plan and a zonal development plan. So again, we went for a site visit. It's more like a practical, not a research oriented city. Hubli, Dhar, we talk to them, we talk to the people, we analyze the city. So the journey was good. That's from my part.
That's nice. And Christina, would you also like to share some insights?
Hello.
Yes, can you please switch on your camera?
Actually, I'm outside. So,
Okay.
yeah, 2 minutes, please.
Yeah.
Can I just keep the audio?
Okay, just, yeah, you can share your insights.
Okay, so what I felt is in SPA, urban planning feels more practical. I mean, we are getting to meet all these bureaucratic issues. Like it's less research based rather than it's teaching us how to work in collaboration with the proper government, Indian government and all. That's what I felt. I mean, if we compare with CEPT means they are following an international standard, I guess, more research based and all. That's the difference I felt with SPA and CEPT. And also the faculties are really good. They are very talented. I mean, very educated. So they are a very big resource. But if we talk about the infrastructure of the college, it's very poor. But still, the faculties are really good, especially in urban planning. And regarding the placements, after transportation planning and ID, urban planning is having good placement. Even this time for internship also, they had some companies like EY who came for placement. And
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you, Christina. Moving on to Sami, I think, Sami, can you just unmute and try?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Am I
okay.
audible?
Yes, so please tell
Yeah.
us a little bit more about your branch, which is environmental planning, and what is the perspective about it? Just a brief idea.
Thank you so much. So again, there are 2 components to the name, that is environment and planning. Now, as we've already listened from the previous listeners about the planning component and how is it different from architecture, difference in scale and all. So environment basically takes into account all the factors or the parameters, all the environmental parameters while planning while planning for a human settlement. So while we are planning for a settlement, like the environment suitability, the environment impact assessment, and all those factors, what factors need to be taken, like what buffers need to be taken from particular water body, what buffers need to be taken from a big structure, and what particular part of the area should we declare as a conserve or as a reserve, and all those parameters come under environmental planning. So it's a very specific, very detailed field, in contrast to the other fields, which will yet again talk in a larger scale. And again, environmental planning goes through different skills itself. In the third semester, we'll be again introduced to concepts of green buildings and all, while we'll again be learning about the planning aspects. So that is in environmental planning in general.
Thank you, Sami. Now we'll move on to the regional planning part. So Prabaldeep, if you could just throw some light on what is the basic of regional planning, or just give a brief idea to all the participants.
So as compare, okay, what is urban planning? So urban planning, in contrast to urban planning, regional planning is deal with the urban areas and also with the rural areas. So as you know, okay, region is, we know that it's all about the scale, urban planning, regional planning. So in the regional planning, you are all covering all the transportation of the all region. You are covering the environment. You are covering all the urban areas and the surrounding of the area. So before coming to the, actually, I have before coming to XPA, I have some experience also. So I did my research also. Okay, what is the regional planning and the urban planning? Because in SPA, only in SPA, the urban planning and the regional planning are the two different departments. And on the other SPS, you will see the urban and regional planning are working as the same as the department. So in SPA, they are more focused on the how the region is developing and how we can work for the plan for the whole region. So after coming the SPA in the first semester integrated semester, in which we work on the ODP. In that ODP, the main concept was to make out think like a planner. How a planner think. So it's a very small scale project. We are just working on the city level, in which we have to work on the outline development plan to make a outline development plan for a particular city area. But after first semester, we come in the regional department. Then we understand how a particular city is dependent on the nearby areas and the regions. So we go to the area. So in regional planning, we are thinking about the macro level, but start working from the ground level, how the rural people are living there, how the small life is dependent on the whole region, and whole region is depending on the small person life. So this is the understanding is generated in the SPA after coming in this campus. And also the talking about the faculty. So my personal experience, like जिस टाइप की फैकल्टीज को आप मिल नहीं सकते हैं ना, अपॉइंटमेंट लेना होता है, उस टाइप की फैकल्टी आपको पढ़ा रही होती है SPA में. और सीरियसली यहाँ पे 8-9 फैकल्टीज लाइक डायरेक्टर्स है, किसी डिपार्टमेंट TPCU के डायरेक्टर्स होंगे, DDA के डायरेक्टर्स होंगे. दे आर लाइक टीचिंग यू, गाइडिंग यू कि हाउ टू मेक अ प्लान. A real planners and experienced 60s to 70s year old planners are explaining you, and sitting with you 8 to 9 hours with you and explaining you every detail is simple, small to small thing explaining to you. This is the beauty of the SPA Delhi. So thank you.
Thank you, Prabaldeep. We will just now shift a little bit from planning to the design part. So moving on to the industrial design branch, we have Sandeepan. So Sandeepan, if you could just share your insights about it, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So industrial design is all about designing products from physical to digital. So I'm an architect, but right now pursuing industrial design as my course. So this whole scale changes as we go from architecture or planning to this industrial design. Your scale changes from a big house to a small product. from a physical product to a digital product. So in our department, we have 2 studios for first year and second year, and we have our workshops. So we got the hands-on experience of designing products by ourselves. And we have very talented, very experienced faculties as well. And within them, we are guided in a very good way. Like we have research faculties, we have design faculties, we have visiting faculties, and all. We had proper guidance over under them. Over my experience over here, like earlier, I was aware of this MDes design, but not aware of this industrial as such. I was and I was looking for shift from architecture to this MDes. So yeah, in SPA, I got this opportunity to from the seed exam, and yes, it was a wonderful experience. And right now I'm in first year. So in the first semester, we had different kind of products designed, from kettle to lighting designs to social designs. All those things we have done. And talking about the placements, I think in SPA, industrial design has the highest placement till now. And yeah, that's it.
I think as far as I know, industrial design has one of the highest number of placements as well.
Yeah,
amongst
exactly.
all the branches. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, just moving on to the next question, like what is the scope and career after pursuing or after completing this master's program? What is the line of action, or how is the career scope in your respective fields? So I think maybe we can start with you, Sandeepan, and then go reverse.
So in industrial design, we had 2 different fields. So one is for the physical products and one for the digital products. So in physical products, we had like different companies like Havels and maybe Maruti and transport companies. And for the digital products, these are some UX UI designs. So those companies are like Infosys, Microsoft, and even Maruti, and all those companies come for the placement. And yeah, like other than that, we have Mindtrees, Bajaj, Whirlpool. All these companies came in the earlier, the past in SPA for the industrial design. So yeah.
And then that is great. That's good to know, like a large, big companies basically with a good portfolio. So
Yes.
then that's quite great. Okay, Prabaldeep, would you like to share something regarding the career and scope after the course?
After regional planning, if I talk about the government jobs, so in government jobs, mostly they are asking for the master's in planning. So in master's planning, somehow like you can anyone planner can apply. If they are the urban designer, urban planner, environment planner, transport planner, or a regional planner. But if there's somehow they are specific, if there is a need of urban planner, regional planner, then you can already apply as a regional planner. So like in India, there's like DDA, ITPI, TCPO. These are the government organizations, as a central organization, which directly hire planners. In India, right now, government is focusing on mostly on the regional level projects, like as you know, DMIC, and also other projects which need a regional planners. So as a regional planners, you have an idea of all the urban and the regional. So maybe if government project as you go to regional planner, you know all the aspects as to how to connect a regional level connectivity. Right now in Delhi, the most of the project like rapid transit, RRTS, Delhi to Meerut connectivity. These are the projects which are working on regional level. So yes, government need a regional planner right now. The scope is in future is very positive, as we see. In private sector like CBRE and other EY and WRI, they also are getting regional planners. So I think in India, the scope for the planners is positive, and you also can apply for the abroad also.
So I think since planning is a very upcoming field in India right now, there is definitely a lot of scope. And like you said, being a regional planner, you can definitely apply to any of the planning related jobs, be it government or private sector, both. So that is great. Okay, Devika, would you like to share something
Uh,
about urban plan? Or do you want to say something more, Prabaldeep? Okay, yeah,
actually,
sure.
ExamAssure also notified that like in the paragraph there is a vacancy for the urban planners and the regional planners and one lakh. So yes, the 1 lakh per month they are giving a planner for the if you are urban planner, a regional planner, or a transport and environment planner. So as well as you are from the bachelor's, all the kids thinking ki what are the payment you get. So there's no like कि मतलब आपको डिप्रेस होने की जरूरत है. There's a good scope.
Yeah, I think that is a very important point you mentioned, because since we have a lot of students who've done architecture also, we all know what is the state after completing bachelor's in architecture. So I think that is one ray of hope that you've mentioned. So that is great. Yeah. So moving on to Devika, would you like to mention something about urban planning?
Yes, actually, we have scope both in private and in government sectors. In private sector, our past recruiters include UNTP, Atkins, then CBRE, EY, etc. In government sector also, if you check, like we have around 7,000 statutory towns, and among them only about 2,000 have master plans. So rapid urbanization is happening, then population is growing, we have limited resources. So we need plan development, and there lies our scope for sustainable planning, for spatial analysis, for public reforms, for research as a research analyst and all. We have a lot of scope in urban planning.
That's great. Moving on to Mrunal and Sami, would you all just let us know about environmental planning?
Yes, I can start and Mrunal can add if she wants. So again, after environmental planning is also a very upcoming field with more, as you can see, the examples of Hiroshima and hill station areas, settlements that are already that existed are facing threats. So ultimately, these are a result of poor environmental analysis. So environmental planning can land your jobs in those firms which do environmental impact analysis, both private and government. So these firms ultimately, when there's a large project, there's an environment impact analysis. So the environment impact analysis covers all the points, social and physical, of the environment and the people living around it. That entire particular project will be. So the jobs in these companies, and also since when you'll be doing environmental planning, the particular field is more related to GIS, that is a software-based field as compared to the other branches, because you'll be studying a lot about the geology of the areas, and you'll be mapping of drains and all of that. So in a GIS-based GIS-based career can also be chosen. And also ultimately in planning, you'll be managing a large amount of data. So planning ultimately opens up the fields of data management, data science and all. As far as now, I mean, the environmental planning of history is considered. So people have landed jobs in like companies or organizations like WWF, WRI, DERI, CSE, and NIUA, or also the CPCB, that is the Pollution Control Board, the DPCC or other state-wise pollution control boards, the UNDP, and even the World Bank. So yet again, there is scope, and this is an upcoming field and would be helpful in the future.
Correct. Mrunal?
I think, yeah, he has covered most of it. I'll just add, like, since you asked about the trajectory, people who want to study more, they can also go for a PhD. They can enroll themselves into going for more research. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yes. So just like Sami spoke about GIS and all of that, I have a question, something related to that. Are there any prerequisites or any skill sets or software that one should know before joining the course, or one should be familiar with before joining your respective course? courses. So we can just start with you, Mrunal. So for environmental planning, is there any software or any skill set that I need to know before joining the course?
So GIS is something, it will be good if somebody tries to learn it or somebody knows before joining. Even if they, they learn during the semester, you can learn it from some people. Somebody from planning background might be already knowing the software, so you can learn from your friends. So
Right.
that is one way. Other than that, in planning, unlike architecture, we don't use Photoshop much. Okay, we don't use so many other softwares. We actually don't use. We make our presentations on PowerPoint, and then we use GIS, and that's pretty much it. Okay.
Yeah.
So in GIS, you can learn QGIS, which is an open software, and another than that ArcGIS. So these two, if you know, it's good enough.
More than enough. Okay. What about the other branches of planning? Is there any addition to that? Prabaldeep, Devika, or Sami, if you all want to add anything?
I think when planning, GIS is a sufficient software for a planner. But yeah, I can add one software which we ignored in our bachelor, like MS Excel. A planner should know the MS Excel actually.
True.
Planning, our all data is have to convert it in the Excel. So as a planner, you should know how to convert all the data in Excel and analyze. If you know Python, it's well good. But basic software is the Excel and the PowerPoint. That should all architects should know. GIS आप सीख जाओ आगे कोई नहीं but please Excel आना चाहिए आपको.
I think that's a very important point. I mean, बचपन से तो आता है Excel, Word, but इतना कभी कोई seriously we don't take it. But yeah, definitely in planning, it is very, very important. Moving on to Sandeepan, is there any software which is important for industrial design, which is a prerequisite?
Right now, as of it's like you're coming from the architecture background and you know all these SketchUps and 3D, 2D software. So in the first semester, they don't allow you to work on the software. Not allow as such, but they more prefer to work on the hands-on things so that you can understand how the product feels like, looks like in your hand, right? So, but yeah, later on, you can switch to other softwares. You can, as of now, people come from engineering background also in our department. So they don't know exactly what SketchUp is and how does these works. But in our department, they teach all other softwares as well, like Rhino and SolidWorks and other software they willing to learn, they can learn itself also. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. And other than that, for the presentation parts and all, it's all about us, how we can communicate our designs and all. It could be video format, it could be presentation format. So people also do all these video editing things as well as the presentations. And for the renderings, they use different key shots, Lumion, all these things according to whatever products they are designing for.
Okay,
So
that's
yeah,
great.
it's a lot of software we use here because it's all about graphics and all how to present your product, how to sell your product. So yeah.
Okay, that's nice to know. So probably more in the design branches, you are somewhere already familiar with a few softwares right from your bachelor's in architecture days. Whereas with
Right.
respect to planning, it is a lot more with GIS and Excel and a few other things of that sort. Now, this next question is more for the planning students or the planning people. Basically, I mean, for the branches in planning, even the architects can apply. So how difficult is the course, or if you compare it with your batchmates who've done bachelor's in planning versus somebody who's done bachelor's in architecture and then moved on to planning in your respective departments, what is the difference, or is it very difficult, or how is it? Can you all just share something about that? So maybe Devika, we could start with you.
I didn't find any difficulty in learning, but GIS, I don't know. So I found difficulty in learning GIS. So, but my friends who are from planning background, they're familiar with the software, no? So I found difficulty in learning the software. That's it.
Okay. What about you, Prabaldeep?
Same as here. I don't feel any difficulty actually. I think as an architect, it's a plus point for me to be in a planning because I most of the thing I know as a planner, as an architect, we understand the people's demand of what people need. And planning, we more focus on what the city need and what the city demand. So we can link that understanding of we understand in the bachelor's and we can link that understanding in the in master's program. Just like Devika said, give difficulty in understanding the GI software. Yes, they are B plan student have the upper hand in the software, but when we come on the SPA, they will teach you from the basic, from the ground. They will treat everyone as a they don't know planning. They will treat you as a zero and will after after first semester, you everyone know okay, what is planning, what you everyone have a great understanding of the what is the planning and I don't think there's a difference between which background you come from in IIT Delhi. We have our geographers, we have a economists, we have a uh, architects also. Yes, architects also make a good sheets. They can represent a data better than the other department, other background department. So I think the architect is in upper hand in the planning.
I think that's a great point. Sami, what would you like to say about it?
So yeah, definitely. Like it is different from architecture. But architecture again prepares us for not only like architectural needs, but in general to work hard. Like our constant submissions and late nights will help us. Like that experience will help us over here. As far as the difference in curriculum is concerned, right, SPA is a very important and a very helpful first exercise, that is the area appreciation. So the area appreciation in itself gets all the non-planners used to what exactly planning is, what are the norms related to the planning, what documents you all need to look to in order for planning. For example, in Delhi, the three sections, all of us are divided into different planned areas. So the main purpose of that 3-week exercise was to study that planned area. And again, based on certain criteria, planning criteria, like studying infrastructure, studying their density, and all of that. So that really made us got used to what exactly planning is and like what we need to refer to for planning and a little bit about the softwares as well. So yes, while it would be challenging at some points, but for architects, not really that difficult.
Okay, that's good to know. Ronal, what is your take on it?
I don't find it very difficult. It's good. It's hectic, like the entire schedule. Like you said, we have to work hard. There is no escape from working hard. But I think after doing architecture, planning kind of opens your mind. So suppose you're designing a house, you know where on the site you have to get your water connection. Okay, so you just know about okay, यहाँ से pipe जा रहा है, हमें यहाँ से connection लेना है. In planning, you go a step further. You know exactly कि उस water channel में, उस water main में कहाँ से पानी आ रहा है. Then from where, like entirely from that river, from that hydro project, the water is coming into your city. You get to understand everything. Similarly, electricity, हम transformer तक देखते हैं. In case of architecture, here you go to the substation. Sometimes you go to the windmills and everything. So your entire scope is opened up. Your perspective opens up. You kind of learn how an entire city works, not just the building, entire city works with in relation to each other, the aspects in relation to each other. So that's a really good thing about planning. It's not difficult, but there is an attitude change that one needs to get into oneself because we're always working in groups. In SPA, I don't think we have ever worked by ourselves. Like we have small topics for us, but entirely it's a group presentation. So if one person is not comfortable or not able to work in group, I don't think that is that's going to happen because that is it. You have to learn to how to work in group.
I think that's a very good point you mentioned about group works, because yes, in SPAs, all the SPAs, without group work, no work is possible. And eventually that somewhere helps you once you get out of college and are into the field as well. So just can you tell us that, what is the kind of exposure received, and how are the peers, or how is the crowd or the faculties, and how has these kind of systems, let's say for example the group work part, or how you meet people from all across India, how has that changed you or affected you personally, like in your personal growth, or how has that helped you rather?
Uh, okay. So yeah, like the first thing is in SPA, you will get people from all across India. It's fun because you get to know about each and every person's, their background, their hometown. So those small details, when you interact with people, you start to get to know. That is interesting. Um, if you talk about exposure, it's yeah. So one can say like, if I want to travel across India now, I have home in so many of the states. I can just go to one or the other friend's house. So that's one benefit. Exposure. I'll move from this topic of people from different countries. So right now, like me and Sami were discussing that we'll say this in the today's meet. Okay. So our topic for this semester is solid waste management. We are doing an environmental improvement plan for solid waste management, and for the past 10 days, we have been given a site. We've been visiting the site, and we've been talking to people, collecting their the information, whether they are segregating the waste or not. And then we've been looking at sites wherever there is waste. So exposure is like wherever there is waste, we're just following the waste these days. Okay, so that's funny. Okay. And then yesterday we visited a landfill site, Gazipur. So we climbed up a landfill site, which is something normally people would never do. Okay. So that is a fun experience. Like if I don't know how many of you want to apply for environmental planning, but this is something that you're signing up for. It's a very different experience. It's fun if you want it to be fun. And we also visited like factories. We visited construction demolition waste recycling facility. We visited waste to energy plant. So yeah, it has been like the past 10 days have been like really amazing for us.
That's great. And what would you like to say about the faculties and your peers? Okay, you've mentioned about your peers, more about the faculties, let's say, and how has that basically helped you grow personally? Whatever you have received at SPA, how has that helped you in your personal growth as a person, rather?
So our faculties are amazing. Again, Prabhaldeep mentioned in the beginning, right? All the people whom you need to take appointments from are here to teach us. So they are amazing set of people, especially for environmental planning. We have Meenakshi ma'am. She's like really old, very sweet, small person, but amazing amount of knowledge she has. And other faculties also. Best part about our department is that nobody ever shouts. They will explain you everything, literally everything they will explain, and they'll help you out. In terms of personal growth, like I said, it's a mind opener. Okay, so I find it very nice that I've been able to understand the dynamics of a city. And being in Delhi, I think now I can relate to how the country also functions in bits and pieces. But yeah, how the country functions, which is good, which I didn't have before. So yeah.
Right. And that's great. Sami, what about you?
So yet again, as far as faculty is considered, like in general, SPA has a lot of like not permanent faculties, teachers who are teaching on a non-permanent basis. So that's actually not really very good, because those teachers are people who have retired from media after 40 years of experience, after 50 years of experience. So people with that kind of experience are in front of you. Like for the studio project, for a class, even for a batch of 35, we had 7-8 faculties in front of us. And whenever like we had our reviews, there are 8 people, industry experts, who have spent their lives in this field, basically judging you and helping you with whatever worries that you have, with whatever problems that you are facing, and with and like they again, since they have spent their entire lives doing this, so they know each and every possible detail. And basically in other colleges or in our bachelor's, particularly in architecture. There were certain points in our review where we can probably escape the teachers if we do some kind of an error. Over here, the chances are very minimal because yet again they have so much experience. They have seen everything that was there to be seen, and then they're sitting in front of you. So yeah, the teaching experience was great. As far as the people from different states, yes, yet again, we have a very diverse batch. So during our first semester also from 38, only I think 4 or 5 people were from Delhi. So while the teachers are discussing any particular topic, they used to infer from where each individual was from, and from that from their states we would get certain examples. So how things are functioning in different states was we were able to get to know about that right over there only. So that's what her diverse batch has given. It gives you a broader perspective, and how it gives you a scale to measure in general. If we're talking about the knowledge part, you're talking about the theoretical part, it gives you a scale. You can measure, okay, what's happening in Delhi, what's happening in Kerala, what's happening in Madhya Pradesh. So that's really great thing.
That's quite a good insight. Devika, what would you like to say about it?
Yeah, so in first semester, every Wednesday we had afternoon from 2 to 5, we'll have special lectures. So experts from different fields will come and they'll give lectures. It was a very good experience. Then in urban planning also, we have a very good bunch of teachers, like they're very friendly. Rather than just teaching the theory, they'll always try to relate with the real life situation, the recent things that happened. So, and they're really updated, like there no latest softwares, they'll teach us also that. Then for our final review in first semester, the external juror, one person was the person who did the latest master plan for Delhi. So it was a really good experience to talk to him, to hear his comments for what we did. So yeah, we have a very good bunch of friends from different states of India, and we have very good faculties also.
That's great. Prabaldeep?
Yeah. So in first year, after coming as Delhi, they will make you confident how to talk to in front of the people. When the government, when after first completing a master's, then you could go to the government department. So how you will present your plan in front of the IITs. So they are all right, like sitting on the 8 or 9 people in front of you, and in first semester they're like giving a review every week. They give you a review of the work you have done. So in that pressure, they give you such greater that environment. You can't think other than the planning. So in that pressure, how you perceive that how you maintain the calmness and also the making a good proposal. So in the last, you can show the in everybody. So yes, after coming in especially, I handle how to handle that pressure and come in forward and calmly explain everything in front of that senior people. And also the good thing is, like, when you are in Espina, you are like you are working in a government department. There are different departments, and you have to do coordination between different departments. In your in first semester, they make a group of 5 to 6 people of different sectors. Like you, I am in the tourism, some other is the transportation, some in the environment. So collaboratively, you have to making a single project. So it's like teaching you, training you to, if you go to a government department, so how you coordinate with the different department. If like I am a planner, I have to work from the PWD department, how I can make uh, like उनको मतलब कैसे मतलब I have some words like
How to deal with them, and
how you can manage to go and make a single project with coordinate with the different department. So this is the learning and the teaching we are they trained us in the first semester. Coordinate with the different groups, and with the groups it make a single proposal. That proposal help to every sector. So this is the teaching in SP Delhi. So I think that this is I feel very personally this is the good way of teaching, how we can come up with a single plan and coordination, and how we can, after the masters, we can work, how we can work in the government department. So that.
That's nice. That's great to know. Sandeepan, what about you?
Yeah, can you repeat that question again?
Yeah. So the question was like, how's the crowd or the faculties or the peers, and how interacting with people from all across India, as well as the kind of exposure that you get, how has that helped you grow as a person? So that was the
Yeah,
question.
yeah. So first of all, I had done my degree from a private college earlier, and that was good, I would say. And later on, when I went out for the job, so it was not that a good experience. It was a good experience, but financial wise, it was not good. So when I came into this industrial design department, I was not expecting it would be a kind of a very good, but yeah, it was a very happy department, I would say. All the faculties and all the peers, all the classmates and all, they're very happy, enjoying doing designings and all. So I would say the whole department is a it gives the positive environment. They also, I would say, there's a very interactive sessions we have for the research, even for the designing part. They have like they give you great insights to think about and to design in a way that could help the future challenges, right? So yeah, that thing is there. Plus, in my experience, I would say I was coming from a BIM experience. I was working as an architect in ecom. There, I am a kind of a person who is into design, not into very technical things. So I was not enjoying that much in that company. But here I'm kind of like enjoying the things, like I'm creating things. I can see what I'm creating. Like in architecture, it takes a long time to build a house, right? But in product, it could be physical or digital, and it could be out in the market, and millions of people can experience it, right? So that is a great feeling for a designer to have it.
Yeah. I think that's nice. And like you mentioned about your graduation college also. So just a question to all of you related to that. What is the kind of difference that you realize between your college of graduation and SPA Delhi, like in terms of the development or the change that you see in yourself, rather?
Yeah. So in SPA, faculties are like that. They push you to work hard, right? And the experience they have, the insights they give, it's far different from a private college because they have these experienced faculties and they have different experiences to share with us. But in private colleges, the faculty is not that great because they're taking the जो new निकल के आते college से, right? So they are teaching the private colleges, so they don't have that experience which students are looking for, right? So I would say yeah, SPA is very great, and compared to other IITs also, I would say it it is comparable. Only the campus is different. They have a large campus to roam around, to you know, like abhi hamari college mein, if you see in SPA, we don't have like much green spaces, right? But in IITs, IIT Delhi, IIT Guwahati, if you say any IITs, they have this environment where they can learn together, they can interact together, right? But here we don't have that thing. So infrastructure wise, it's very poor, but yeah, in faculty wise, it's very great. It is comparable to IIT also.
Okay. Prabaldeep, thank you, Sandeepan. Prabaldeep, what is your take on this?
In my college, Sandeep said कि हमारे पास में in college newly graduate people come to teach us. So, but in SPA you will find a professional teach us. But as I graduated from Gateway College of Architecture in Sonipat. So lots of SPA faculties was there as a guest faculty. So yes, in past I have some experience of the faculty. Infrastructure wise, yes, SP Delhi don't have any infrastructure. But if you about a core value of a college, this SP Delhi have a very core value. They have fulfilled the core value of it, uh, which I feel like.
Okay, great. Devika?
Yes, like they are really good compared to the college where I did my bachelor's. Infrastructure wise, like it's poor, like we need to improve a lot. And also there is one more thing, like institutional electives also there. Like if I got, I chose urban planning, but if I want to do in landscape or in any other course, I can do it in like we have a chance to do it in as an institutional elective also. That's
Okay, nice. Sami?
Yeah, so what just so what I observed in SPA was that SPA is actually a lot more organized than a lot of the institutes that you see. So like from the very first semester, we'll be given a student's handbook of that particular semester only, which will have details of all the faculties, showing how easily accessible the faculties are, and a very in-depth schedule of what's going to happen. If there's a review on Monday, they will be a review on Monday, no matter what. So yeah, otherwise infrastructure-wise, as you have already heard from other people. But yes, otherwise SPA is a very organized institute and takes things very seriously.
Okay. Runal?
Yeah, same. Like when we got the handbook on the first day, now we were like really surprised. Oh my God. So that's a huge difference from the old institute. Place where I come from was a private institute. It hardly, I mean, it was very poor in terms of education. So this is like a shocker. Like it's a complete shocker for me. Oh my God, education can be this good. Okay. So yeah, in that way I really appreciate the college. One plus point is we have AC in the classroom because Delhi is super hot and super cold also. But we have AC. We do not have heater. So that's one small plus point in terms of infrastructure, and one minus also because no heater. It gets extremely cold. But yeah.
Okay. That's right. That I think even I can agree with all of you. When I went to SPA, I could drastically feel that difference between my college of graduation and SPA Bhopal. So yeah, all the SPAs, you have that difference and you do realize it. There's another question that's coming to my mind because of what Sandeepan said. In case if you guys have any friends in IITs with respect to your branches, respective branches, and if y'all are in touch with it or have any idea in terms of your respective branches, what is the difference or how is it? In case if y'all have any idea, please share that as well.
Known faculty he did PhD and master from IIT Roorkee. So what he told me that IIT is always most focused on the data analytical. Okay, how you analyze the data. They are not, but in SPA we are more focused on the logic, reasoning, feelings behind people. These are the things that planner need to focus, not always the data. So IIT always are the technical. They are the technical institute. So they are always work on the data. What are numbers on these things? But as a planner, you always have to have multiple things to understand or have to focus on. Okay, as a planner, what are the environmental thing? What are the transportation? What are socio-economic culture? You all have to understand this. So SPA always focus on these things rather than the technical thing. So because the cities our settlement is not always work on the numbers. There's a people, actual people living, people are living there. So yes, SPA is better. Most I will personally think from comparing, SPAs are better than IITs in planning, not in engineering department. Yes.
So that I agree, since planners and designers who are working at urban scales, we do work that is more people centric. So it has to connect with people as well, rather than being data driven. Sami, Mrunal, Devika, or Sandeepan, if you all have any ideas with respect to your respective branches, you all may please share so.
In particularly SPA, but SPA or in particularly SPA Delhi, you have these branches which have been really divided. Otherwise, you will not see such subdivisions anywhere else. For example, IIT Kharagpur have masters in city planning. As for example, you have environmental planning. So environmental planning is a course is only offered by SPAs or the three SPAs, but only SPAs. Otherwise, there is environmental design. Or sustainable architecture, something like that, not environmental planning. So yes, the division of the courses is different. The way SPA has divided the courses, SPA has really gone into the depth of planning and has taken a focus on it very specifically.
Okay. Sandeepan or Devika, Ronal, anybody wants to share anything?
Yeah, so we had recently visited IIT Delhi. So we had some workshop there with the faculties. So it was a good experience. We came to know about how they work and what projects they do. So what differences I found there that they're more oriented toward the analysis, the research part. And here in SPA, we are more into making things, failing things, and again doing things, right? So it's more about how much you fail first. The more early you fail, the more you learn fast. That's a way we are that's a way we are learning here in SPA. In IIT, what they're doing, they're not doing much. I would say the number of projects they have very less in compared to SPA, but the quality they are coming out in the project are, I would say, it's much better than us because they are more research oriented. Yeah, but in terms of numbers, we are ahead of them. Like kind of projects we are doing, we are ahead of them.
Okay. So SPA has a more variety, but IIT has is more towards perfection or
perfection and quality. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. Anyone else would like to add in anything on this? Okay. Okay, so we have Himani as well, who's joined right now. So Himani is from the BEM department. Himani, if you would just unmute and just switch on your camera as well. So we would quickly go through, we would like you to share about your department and everything. And once we are done with Himani's questions, then we can take up questions from you participants as well. So yes, Himani, tell us something about your department and how is it?
So I'm pursuing my master's in building engineering management. And so as you all know that building engineering management is a very valuable course, and in SPA it's a very valued because of its faculties and placement records. So yeah, this course is more about like architects who wanted to pursue, like who wanted to become project managers. Like even after working for 7 to 8 years, you can't become like project managers directly. This, or you can say title you won't get. Like you can manage the project after a few experience, but the title that project manager you won't get. So after this, you can effectively manage the project. Not only project, you can go into valuation and real estate management, even HR management. But after this course, there are various options for you. Plus, in building engineering management, faculties are really qualified. We have both, like civil engineers are also there and architects are also there. It is a combined course. So we have faculties from architecture background also and civil background also. So we got to know like detail, like in architecture, we mostly work on design phase. But in BM, we got to know the detail of the construction phase and how the project executed on site. So that information we got from faculties from civil background. So yeah.
Okay. And that's a good basic idea about BM. In terms of what is the scope, career scope, once you are done with the graduation, once you're done with the program, like, or how are the placements?
Like the placement record in BM is 100%. Earlier it was 200%, but now it's like after COVID it went to 100. So companies like start coming from September, October until March, April. So the average package goes from 6.5 to 8.5, then even 10 to 12 also. But recently it is up to 8.5 only. So the placement record is good. So this is sure that you will get placed after coming to BM. So this is like if this is the perspective कि BM करना है and then you got placed, so वो हो जाएगा. What else is you have various options if you wanted to like shift to another department also, like you don't want to actually like go on site, so you can go in valuation and other departments also related to management. So this is also a plus point of this course.
Okay. And are there any prerequisite skill sets, or does one need to know BIM softwares beforehand, or it's okay if I don't know them and I still join the course? How does that work?
It is okay. Like I was working for past 2 years, so I was in BIM firm only. So it is a plus point for me. They are teaching BIM, and in placement also, more companies are related to BIM. So more package, like they prefer BIM oriented student, and the package of those companies are also higher. So if you know BIM, Revit, so it's a plus point. But if you don't know, they conduct extra classes. Like on Monday and Wednesday, we have extra classes from after college from 5 to 7 or related to Revit BIM only. So in that they will in offices as an architect, we work on designing phase only. But in this BM, we are working on structural, MEP, and all the services also. So this is a plus point, because in in our internships and during the placement scene, so we can tell them that we already know BIM, and companies can select. It's a plus point basically if you know BIM. Otherwise, it's not optional to know BIM. They will teach you in courses.
Okay, so that I think that's great, because it's okay if somebody does not know as well. Like I think the planning
Like
people
civil
said
engineers
that,
in my batch, they don't know BIM, they don't know what Revit is, but they are teaching in class from like from first semester. So they will teach you in a good manner.
correct. So I think that's great. Like how the planning people participants here said that, you know, they, even if you don't know planning, they will clear the base for you and then take you ahead. So that's, I think, throughout SPA for all the branches. And in terms of, let's say, in case if you are familiar with anybody from IIT with a similar course, what is the kind of difference that you know of, if any?
Like BIM is in few IITs only, like IIT Delhi, Bombay. So in IITs, this course is more for civil engineers. But in SP Delhi, this course is more for architects, like the basic understanding. But in like they don't focus on calculation part in SP Delhi. But in IITs, what I got to know is they focus more on structural and the calculative parts and the MEP exercises, everything more calculative. But here they focus how to like manage a project, not in detail. Like they will help you to understand in managing, not how to design everything in SPDLE. So this in SPDLE, it is more for architects, not for civilians.
Okay. And in terms of, let's say, how is the campus life that you've experienced? Okay, before campus life, I think tell me what is the difference that you've realized between your college of graduation, that is SPA Bhopal, and your college of masters, that is SPA Delhi.
Like from SPA Bhopal to SPA Delhi, I would say faculties. In SPA Bhopal, there were faculties like qualified and good faculties, but not like SPA Delhi. In SPA Delhi, you have faculties with more than 20-25 years of experience in industry. So this is a plus point here. Like you can like directly contact with or interact with faculties. Those are already working in sites and executing projects. Even the faculties are like, one of my faculty is teaching IAS IPS officers the research methodology, research, quantitative research, how to conduct. So they are like teaching us also. So this is a plus point for like you got to know like everything from their experience. So SPA Bhopal was also good, but faculty in SPA Delhi are more good experienced. Yeah.
And the difference between the campus life in both, or let's say,
I would choose SPA Bhopal because I was a hostel there, and plus campus was big, so you have everything around, everything in the campus. But in SPA Delhi, it is a small campus, and then you don't have much to do in campus, less green spaces. You can just sit in the OAT and that's it. But SPA Delhi life is very interactive. Like anything, like on every Fridays or within a month, कुछ ऐसे events होते रहते हैं. So it is good.
okay, that's nice. And in terms of, let's say, the kind of peers that you've met at SPA Delhi, or the kind of exposure that you have received, how has that somewhere helped you grow, or what kind of a difference do you see in yourself?
Like in SPA Delhi, we are working with civil engineers also. Like in first semester, we have to make groups of 5 to 6, and then we have to like choose a project, and that project we have to continue till our third semester. And in our group, we have it's a mixture of civil engineers and architects. So you like got to know the ideas of civil engineers also, and you have your thoughts on that. So it like I got to know what engineering background is and how we can also learn from them. So it is a good learning experience from civil engineers for me, basically. Also, SPA Delhi, like we in our department, our HOD used to conduct like he's a very like fun-loving and interactive person. So he used to conduct like activities in the campus or in the department only. So recently we had IIT Delhi, we visited IIT Delhi, and there we have presented our posters. So it's a exposure for us to present our own work in SPA Delhi. So it's a good thing. Like you got to basically apne aap ko you are presenting in different campuses and you are learning from that.
So the more exposure, the more you get shaped rather. Right.
Like faculties are very experienced, and also like they have contacts, so they help you in contacting with different people. So
correct.
This will also help in placement and connections in the industry. Yeah.
So basically, it's more about the networking as well that helps you grow. Correct. Yeah. So thank you, Himani, for giving us a brief insight about BEM and everything. So now we are open to questions. If any of the participants have questions regarding branches for planning, environmental, regional, urban, or industrial design, or BEM, may please put it in the chat box. Okay, we have one question from Gargi. Does switching to industrial design from BARC limits or restricts one's career opportunities? So Sandeepan, would you like to address that question?
Yeah, just one second. Yeah, actually not, because as you are becoming an architect from your bachelor's, so it's adding up one more skill set within you as an industrial designer, right? So um, you can become a product designer as a physics, like where you design products, or you can become an interaction designer or UX UI designer. That will give you financially more stable than an architect, because in architecture you have to be have great experience, right? And you should have a business mindset. Like you need to know how to sell your things. You need to know how to convince your clients, right? And within architecture, I would say you will mm, you will be learning a lot from your softwares, uh, from your life experience, from building construction, everything. But those experiences won't go away, right? Those will be there as well. So as a designer, it will not going to restrict your opportunities.
Okay. So I hope, Gargi, that answers your question. Thank you, Sandeepan.
Yeah.
Samiksha is asking, can you elaborate on the course of urban planning? So Devika, would you like to take that question?
Yes. So, if you think about urban design and urban planning, in urban design, we are more focusing on the shape and form of spaces, how the people experience that space and all. In urban design, so in urban planning, we are looking on the functional aspect, like we'll be studying the area, we'll be assigning certain locations for those aspects. Then we'll be forming development control regulations, bylaws and all. So that's the difference between urban design and urban planning. Then in urban planning, so like I said, we'll be studying about a city in detail. We'll be like during the course, like in our class, we'll be divided into different groups. We'll be looking into governance part, then regional setting, land use, housing, transportation, tourism, those different aspects, and we'll be studying about in detail. We'll analyze the city in those aspects, and we'll be coming up with proposals like how to like solve those issues like that. That's the course about.
Okay. So thank you, Devika. Okay. So Samiksha, I hope that helps, where you get a brief idea about the course. Moving on to the next question by Animesh. Are there any government job prospects for after pursuing BEM? Himani, would you answer that? Okay.
Yeah, there are government jobs after BEM. You can you can go for government job also. Last year, I applied for a post of architect only, but there was a vacancy in army for construction manager. So there are government job options also, but that you have to apply outside the college.
Yeah. Okay.
So this was the only one I come across. Rest I have no idea.
But I think I would just like to add, a few government institutions do prefer or give a little more preference to candidates having this background or having little bit of experience with respect to BEM, is what is my personal observation. So I think it does help somewhere. So even if, let's say, you're a planner and you know a bit about related to BEM or the BIM softwares or anything, that does help you somewhere. I mean, you can add on if you want, Himani. Like if
Yeah, obviously, in few there are positions, but mostly contract basis. Like last year I come across there were vacancies around 17 to 18 for this construction manager. And also, if you know BIM, like BIM is the future, as you all know that everything will end up to Revit only. So if you know Revit, it's a plus point, and you will end up to government job, because now government buildings or projects are also adopting BIM. So BAM will help you in government jobs also.
Okay. Thank you, Himani. The next question is by Saurav. If we just talk about the admission perspective, is it easier to get into BEM or transportation planning? Which branch has less competition comparatively? I think personally, no branch has less competition, especially at any of the SPS. Delhi, though, definitely no. So, yeah, I mean, it's difficult. And as far as BEM is concerned, I think the competition is very high. So Himani, you could also talk about it, and the others also can just share some light about planning and the competition or the number of applications as well, if you all have any idea.
Yeah, like BM is a very like very valued course in SP Delhi. So in my last year when I applied, the eligibility list was around 300 to 400 candidates, and then from that eligible list, the selected candidates were also 100 to 150. So it is really like a competitive course. So even and from this year onwards, interviews will also happen. So I think no course is like easy in SP Delhi. So if you are choosing one course, you have to like make your mind that you are going for that, and you have to like make a good SOP and prepare for the interview. That's
That's a very valid point. Definitely, there is a lot of competition.
yeah.
What
So,
about, yeah.
yeah, so you have to mainly focus like for the selection process, SOP, and your portfolio. Portfolio is a very like plus point if you like put detailed drawings in your portfolio for BEM especially. Interview you will like pass, because faculties will they will not ask you technical questions, just your basic idea, like if why you want to pursue BM, because faculties want to like select the good candidates for their course. So if you actually want to pursue MBM, so they will choose you definitely. So focus on your portfolio and SOP. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Himani. Prabaldeep, Sami, Mrunal, Devika, and Sandeepan, would you like to talk about the competition in your respective branches in terms of the admission perspective?
As my talk about my time, competition is coming less from student side. Application was very less as compared to the other department. My time only 27 people are applied for the regional planning.
Okay.
But as per urban planning, there are 200 people. Transportation is a 400 people are applied for the 34 seats. In regional planning, there's only a 19 seats, I think, right now, maybe for Badiyo Kamo. But they are happy with 2 or 3 people. Seats are 90, applications are 24 or 25, but they are selected only at 14 students. They don't in a harsh for to filling the all seats. If you don't have a good SOP, good portfolio, they will just your portfolio, your application will be rejected. So they are more focused on the quality of the people. There, if you are really interested to join the course, if you have a good SOP, write up and portfolio, you will definitely got selected. But they are not in a hurry to fill the seats. So yes, there's a competition within the U. If not in a SBA, if you have, you will select it.
Right. So they choose more of quality over quantity. That is what matters. Correct. Yes. Sami?
I would say that like in the courses which are the most in demand, that is the BM or transport planning, they use, while they don't really mention it, but gate rank is particularly used to filter out the students. So like in the courses where the demand is high, the gate rank, if you see the structure of each individual department of the preferences, be it the gate, be it your college percentage, portfolio SOP. So gate would always have a higher percentage in transport and as well as in BEM. So again, that's how they will ultimately filter out the students. But yes, good portfolio, good SOP, and good forward percentages would be hugely effective, hugely helpful by getting you a seat. In courses, in other courses, like even in environment planning, as Prabali mentioned, since there are lesser people that are applying, so other factors such as a portfolio are of much more importance as compared to a gate rank. So be it environmental planning or other regional planning, they'll see your background, they'll see what you have done, they'll see what really your perspective is, and that will also reflect in the interview. For example, currently you are going to the planning field. So the major question would be like why from an architecture background, why exactly the shift to planning, and if if you are going to very specific fields like regional and environment, for example, urban isn't that specific of a field. Urban planning is a very pretty common course. So in courses like these, the questions about why exactly do you want to pursue these courses, how do you get to know about them, and for example, your thesis background, your thesis would ultimately be the deciding factor in this type of circumstances.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Sami. Ronal, Devika, any one of you?
I'll just add the competition part. So in our case, I think there were 55 to 60 applicants during when we were being selected. Eligible candidates 55, 60, that range. And 18 seats were there. And like Prabal said, they did not fill all the seats. There were only 12 people in the class. So in spite of having 60 applicants, they stopped at 12. So that's one part.
Okay. And that's good to know. As in, the quality is what they want to maintain basically, and that is why they're going for this, is what we can just analyze out of it. Devika?
In my time, actually, around 400 students applied, and like 400 eligible students were there. And
For urban planning.
For urban planning, and when they published the first selection list, they filled all the seats. Like 30, they selected 35 students also. So this time the last date is 20th, no? So on that day itself, you need to like upload your SOP, then portfolio. So in portfolio, you can include like if you are applying for urban planning or environmental planning, like you can include the works you did in those respective fields. That shows your interest. So that will be a plus point. And gate score also, they will give more preference to gate students. So yeah, in SP the selection is through, like they'll prepare a list, and through that only they'll select students.
Okay. Thank you, Devika. Sandeepan,
Yeah,
how is the competition at
so in our department, I don't remember the numbers right now. So what I know here that they look for the passionate people here, passionate students who really wanted to do design and explore this industrial design field actually. So they look for good portfolios, and also it's not necessary that you need to crack your seat or gate exam. Those are only for to get eligible to get scholarship. Right. So in my class, there are people who are directly selected through portfolio only. So yeah, you have to work hard and you have to have a good portfolio where you show how you had solved designs, how you have solved problems through your designs. So they look for those processes in your portfolio, not the direct product as you're designing.
Okay. So it's more of a process oriented and
process oriented
quality
and the quality
related
oriented.
approach.
Exactly.
Correct.
And they like in our department, we had like 27 vacancy, but it's not necessary that they're going to fill all the seats. They look for the quality
Correct.
people only. So in our
Right.
department, we have like 22 admissions this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I think the quality part or aspect is a very important one. And probably that is why the name is also still maintained after all these years. So which is a good thing. We have a related question to your industrial design part, Sandeepan, which is switching from architecture to MDes difficult?
I would say it's not, because it's all part of a design, right? Because in architecture, we follow this design process. We go through case studies. Uh, we try to find some insights out of it, and we try to solve those designs. But in architecture, the scale is different. In industrial design, it's completely different. It's going to the product. It's a small scale thing. But yeah, you're going to uh, you're going to address a larger public, right? Not a
Correct.
small small number of people. So your product should be like that. It goes to everyone and it doesn't fail. And even if it's gonna fail, you have a chance to revise it also. But in architecture, you don't have. If a building fails, it fails for all of us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And also, as an architect who's applying for industrial design, do they need to have something related to product design in their portfolio, or that's okay if it's not there?
Yeah, if it is there, that would be a good point, because it shows that you are into some product designs and all, because you're thinking in terms of product, you're thinking in terms of furniture, maybe, or maybe into digital format also, right? So if it is there in your portfolio, that would be plus point.
Okay. So thank you, Sandeepan. It's
Yeah.
a very important point that you mentioned, definitely. And okay, we have another question, that is with respect to environmental planning, what kind of jobs do we get mainly after completing the course? So Sami and Runal, if you all would like to take on that question.
I'll say, like previously, Sami answered the question in terms of what kind of employers hire you. So you can actually look out, like go and visit the websites of WRI, WWF, then look at the works of MOEF, CPCB, what all they are doing, and you'll get a good idea as to, where you find yourself, where you can get placed. So I think that would be a better answer. I mean, that is, yeah.
Okay. I think your voice is breaking. Okay.
Could you hear what I said?
Not
Hello?
the end part, not the end part.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying that you can visit different websites of MOEF. You can visit CPCB, this WRI, WWF, CSE, and you'll find out the kind of work they do, and then you'll find where you place where you find yourself to be placed as. Okay, so that will give you a good perspective.
Okay. Yeah. Sami, would you like to add something to that? Oh.
No, I think she covered the part of what exactly we could expect by looking at just looking at what the companies do, where we ultimately get placed. So yeah.
Okay. So one last one or two questions. Basically, I think that applies for all the branches. That when I'm applying, do I need to have some kind of an experience, or is it okay if I'm a fresher? So how does it go? Let's start with environmental planning. Is your experience important, very necessary, or it's okay if I don't have an experience?
I think we can take example of me and Sami. I have 4 years of experience. Sami is a fresher. So, and we're both in the same place. So, I would say it doesn't matter. You should have the inclination towards it and you can get it. We have a whole range of 0 to 4 years experience of people in the department. So yeah.
Okay, great. Others, would you all like to add on? Himani, Sandeepan, Devika, Prabaldeep, with respect to your branches?
Okay. I want you to. Okay.
So in my branch, if you have experience, it's a plus point. Like they ask you technical questions related to field and standards and codes. So it's a good, it's a good point if you have experience. Like I have 2 years experience, but I have experience in BIM only, no side experience. So it was a kind of difficult for me. Like I don't get like questions related to like understand standards and codes. So I have to put more effort on that to understand all those things. But if you are a fresher, it's fine. They will like help you understand everything. If you don't know anything, they will teach you like what this means. So faculties are really supportive. So if you don't know, they will help you. But if you have fresher, like if you have experience, so it's a good point. You can contradict their answers and you can put your knowledge. Like faculties are almost like they have teaching experience, few faculties. And if you have field experience, so even faculties are ready to learn from you. So like in my batch, there are people having experience of 10 plus years. So they teach faculties like, sir, ये होता है actually site में. So faculties are like, okay, हमारे time पे नहीं होता. So it's a plus point also. And if you don't have any experience, they will teach you. So not a problem.
Okay, that's great. Prabaldeep?
Yeah, I think if you have some little experience, it's always good, because as planning is a professional course, and if you have some professional experience, so because when you are in planning, you go to the field for data collection, where you talk to the government department, and you should know how to talk to them, how you can professionally behave there. So this attitude is come from when you work from somewhere past. So as if you come with just fresher, you don't know, you are just treat planning as just another master degree or other just a subject. But it's not just a subject for the learn. Yeah, you just read and theory subject. It's the way it's like doing a practical work. You are just creating a full report. Your report can be published, gazetted. You have to work like your attitude should be like a professional. So yeah, if you have a 1 or 2 experience, it's much better than to pursuing a master's.
Okay.
I'll just add a small sentence to what you
Yes,
said.
please.
Okay? I remember like one of the professors in one of the classes, he told that when you get out of here, you'll be a different person altogether. So they are training us to be the professionals. Like it's good to have some professional experience, but here they're actually training us to become professionals. So like I would say, though, people who don't have experience should not actually worry that they don't have experience. But yeah, in working, it is beneficial, but the college actually changes you because it puts you through so much that it will change your personality completely. Yeah. And he said that with so much confidence that you will get out as a better person. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that is true in that is always true. You will realize it, I think, at the end of your course. Once you look back, you definitely do realize that. Yeah. Sandeepan or Devika, anybody?
Yeah, so in my department, it's not necessary to have an experience, but yeah, getting an experience before getting into masters, that would be a plus point because you know how the industry works and how also in the experience part, in the office part, you know how to manage things, how you manage resources, how you manage your projects, right? So it will add up in your what do you say, in your academics as well. You know how to handle group works, you know how to manage people, and eventually you will learn and go ahead with this. And even as my friends had said that even faculties also learn from us because they are into teaching lines for long years, right? And students coming with different backgrounds, different experiences. So within those interactions, I would say they it's an interactive learning process in our department.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
And also adding to that, in our department also, we have different background. We have students from different background as well, like from engineers to architects, and it's not like they have experience. They are also freshers also. So they
Okay.
are passionate about the designing part. That's why they got selected.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sandeepan. Devika, how is it with urban planning?
Yeah, so in urban planning also we have students who are just passed out, like freshers are there, and there are working professionals, like there are two of them who are working in government sector, and they came to study. So if you have experience, it's a plus point, but even if you don't have it, it's okay. Um, yeah, you'll get into into SPA.
Okay.
Through
So I
your
think
SOP, you can show your interest, like how passionate you are
right.
for the course.
Okay. So just to sum it up with respect to the experience versus non-experience thing, I think it's more about how passionate you are and what kind of quality work you have. That is what will help you sail through rather than any other aspect, so as to say, right? We have another interesting, important question rather, that SPA Delhi will be taking a qualifying exam as per the admission brochure. So can you all share or can you all throw some light on that perspective if you all have any idea about it? So because I think for the admission time, they do make you attempt some small test like 15-20 mark test or something.
Actually, they like I told, they'll what they'll there are like they'll put mark for our SOP, like for our gate. If we have gate score, they'll put a certain mark for that. Then if we have work experience, they'll give some points for that. So based on that, they'll bring a what list. And
Okay.
for interview also, they'll give some mark for the interview, how we attended it. So based on that, they'll put a selection list. So through that, we'll be selected.
Okay.
That's what I understood.
Yeah. Anybody else would like to share anything on that question?
Like I think if there is some type of qualifying exam, because when probably we all are of the same batch, we joined in 2022. If SPA is conducting something in 2023, we'll ask the faculties and will inform about the same.
Okay.
I would like to say something. Actually, previously this has happened. During COVID time, they stopped taking exams. They were like taking direct selection.
Admission.
But in exams, they just ask you a basic urban planning questions if you are applied for the urban planning or regional planning, regional planning, environment planning. So in any planning, they will just ask you a bachelor questions in fourth or I think fourth or fifth year you are studying. The basic questions, yes, as per Devika said, there are some marks category, there are some percentage for the written interview for written exam or interview SOP. So collaboratively, all marks are combined. Then you got selected. Then the rest comes. So pura ka pura is not judged on the basis of the written exam or interview basis. There are some weightage. If you'll get the weightage for the written and for interview and your portfolio and SOP. So you have to do good in written exam, but not you have to depend on all over the written exam. You have a basic understanding of the course which you have to apply. You have a good understanding of the bachelor, maybe a fourth year, fifth year syllabus you are studying in urban planning or urban design. A basic understanding, and you have to basic idea. The questions are general questions. They are not a technical questions. There's a no right question or the no wrong, not right answer or wrong answer. The whole question will be a general answers. Your understanding about that. So I think that will not be the written exam, that will not be a tough every if you have a basic understanding.
Correct. Yes. So, and I think like Prabhaldeep also mentioned, there will be a kind of weightage that they've already mentioned that, 10% for gate or 5% for gate and so on. So you all can check it on the website also. It's mentioned there clearly, the bifurcation that will be done, right? Does any of you want to add on to anything?
I
Okay.
see a question that says that do we get admission if you're not able to clear gate? So answer is yes. You can get an admission if you haven't cleared your gate and have a very good portfolio and SOP. Plus, there are a lot of other criteria like work experience, like your college marks, and now they will be they will be the interview and the qualifying exam. So if you are excelling in all these factors and are not clear gate, there is a decent chance for you to get an admission.
I have just one additional question to that. That is, how important is your SOP and portfolio in the whole process? So if you could share something about that.
Portfolio and thesis, even thesis would be something which will stick to you during the course direction. You'll be asked about it even when you are during your course as well. So portfolio is something that is really important, that needs to be worked upon really well. I think during the admission procedure, there is a part where you should provide the abstract of the thesis. So again, if your thesis is something that is related to what you are going to be doing, what the department that you're going to select, for example, if you're a transport and doing an architecture design and ISPT or kind of the development of a train terminal, so that's a huge positive point. If you're like I went to environmental planning, my thesis was related to an agricultural research center, and further during my post duration, I can work on like landscape related work on the supplementary train. So again, that was again very helpful. That teacher again and again about during the courses. So portfolio is a very important tool that will be there for you and will compensate if you are not faring well in other factors.
Okay. What is the experience of the rest of you with respect to portfolios and SOPs? Himani, Sandeepan, Devika, Mrunal, Prabhaldeep.
Yeah, I would like to add on this. So for MBM, portfolio, you don't have to put like renders or illustrations or drawings like that. Put more related to detailed drawings like sections and the calculations you did for ground coverage and rest other calculations you did for your thesis or your any other projects. So put those because they look into those things only. These illustrations, renders, they don't pay attention towards that. So in my portfolio also I put detailed drawings of my project. So make a good like portfolio very simple and don't put much on your sheets. Keep it like simple and clean so that they understand what you did in your thesis and other projects. And like in my time, I gave thesis as a different PDF and the portfolios are different. In my portfolio, I put 3 projects only and one was my thesis. So in thesis also, I detailed the plans, sections, everything, and more on the like zoom in details and the calculation part. What was the ground coverage and how much percentage I have achieved? What was the FIR? So they look into that only. So renders vagera avoid. That's it. For
Okay.
me.
Okay. Thank you, Himani. Prabhaldeep.
Yeah, actually, why SP is asking portfolio and SOP is the main purpose. Like for the portfolio, they were trying to understand that how was you as a student, how sincere you were there at your bachelor's. Main purpose was that to take a portfolio. So in the portfolio, you have to show that how you worked in your student life in bachelor's, how you show the, you have that basic analysis, analytical understanding, reasoning understanding. You just SOP means how keen you are interested to pursuing that course. So portfolio is talking about your past and SOP is talking about your future. So you have to make that accordingly. So, and your SOPs are read by the HOD. So that should be, and your SOPs should not be fake. You are like, yes, you have to do this. You should be truthful and honest in your SOP. Why you are pursuing particular that department. So why? Because in that there should be some history, some attachment. There's something you are pursuing that particular department. So SOP should be that truthful. So that can hit the HOD. Yes, you are really interested in that department. Because as I know, you only can apply for the only particular one department. You can apply for the two department, three department. So you want to get selected in that particular department. You don't have a backup option for other department. So SOP should be strong and truthful. That will show you why you are actually really want to that course. And portfolio is just showing what projects you have done in your past. It doesn't matter if you ever done with the urban planning project or urban design project. So maybe you should just interior design projects. But can you show the if you are work only interior design project, but you are applying for the urban planning, can you explaining the interior project clearly? Your by portfolio they are understanding what they are trying to show on that sheet. If you're able to understand, able to show your work in portfolio detail and clearly, they will select your portfolio. But if I some other person who is work some urban planning or urban design project and he didn't show his portfolio properly, he just shows some renders and doesn't know why this project is done, that portfolio will be rejected. So you have to show just what work you have done in your past sincerely and why you are come to this department. So just this the basic मतलब understanding कि portfolio क्या कहना चाहता है, portfolio और why SOP only. And the written exam and interview, what are you present, मतलब how it's talk about अभी आप कैसे हो, आपके अभी की understanding, what your understanding right now is that. So these are the three things. Okay.
Yes, I think that's a very important point, Prabhaldeep, that you mentioned, even with respect to SOP. And it's the same thing that the ExamAssure faculty who had conducted the SOP workshop had also mentioned the same thing. I think even last year as well as this year, with respect to the SOP, that you need to be as truthful as possible and don't fake it, because these people have a lot of experience and they can easily make out once they read it, and if they talk to you, they can very easily relate and understand that it is fake, and that is where you lose the entire game. So that is important. Yes, Mrunal, Devika, anybody with respect to your views on SOP and portfolios?
Yeah, so basically the portfolio and SOP, like you said, they should be connected. Okay, it's like a story. So, so when you're applying, you have not seen the faculty has not seen you. Okay, so it's like you're trying to talk to them, you're trying to convey your ideas to them. Okay, and if I come specifically to environmental planning, probably they look for sensitivity, like sensitization towards environment. So that is something that might be looking for. So if you already have that, like if you are sensitive about the environment, why have you tried something out? Or your thoughts, basically you can express your thoughts through your SOP, through your portfolio. You can show your journey as to how you came to be where you are right now and what is pushing you to pursue this course. Okay, so you can tell it like a narrative also, and having it influential, that should help. Even I did the same thing. I have experience, but my experience is absolutely not in the environmental arena. Okay, but I think I'm very much passionate. But how I think I'm passionate is something I need to convince them. So yeah, that's
Okay. Thank you, Mrunal. Devika, would you also like to add something? Okay, I think, yeah.
Yes, so I had 2 years experience. So when I submitted, I uploaded it as like 2 PDF, one for my thesis and one I included my work experience in urban planning. And SOP also, like I have attended ExamAssure's SOP writing. There was a session, so it actually helped me like how to compose an SOP. I got an idea from there only, and um, like so when we are including we have to write in our own sentence, like in chat books I saw like someone was posting if we can share the SOPs, but we should compose it by our own, like we should write like how passion, like what influenced me to select this course, that we need to construct those sentences by ourselves. And portfolio also, yeah, like uploaded in 2 PDF. I included like my thesis and 2 other projects, which is architecture based 2 projects. And I included like I did one project in urban design where I was working. I included that project, and as I told, I was working as a project intern. So there also I was working in solid waste management. So I included that work also. So it will be better if you have some work experience, you can include that work. Otherwise, you can take some case studies and you can study some aspects, and you can include that also in your portfolio.
Okay. And just a question in addition to what you said. Were the workshops with respect to SOP and portfolio conducted by ExamAssure helpful for you in terms of understanding what is to be put and what is not to be put and so on?
Yeah, it was really helpful. Like portfolio, we have an idea because like during our BR course also, we will be applying for internship now. So we have an idea how to prepare a portfolio,
Right.
how to compose and all. But SOP, it was really new to me because we have to compose it in like few words, like I think 120, 200 words now. And we need to convey like how passionate we are. We have to convey like they won't be seeing us, there is no interview, so by reading it they should understand it. So by attending the ExamAssure the session, it was really helpful. The Sahit taught us like how to compose it, what all things to include, like for example if we can include like for example from my childhood, how it how it influenced me, what I was looking, all those things. And like in ExamAssure session only, like it was said, like for freshers, if you have no work experience but you can include a few case studies, it shows like we put some effort to study those aspects, like it shows how interested we are in those in that course.
Right.
So it will be good if you include it, it will be good, it will be a plus point. Like it's tight competition, no? Like there are 100 other people who have more experience and who know about the course. So if we add something, like it's like an effort we made, we did something to understand that course, that shows it. So it will be good if you had some few case studies.
Okay. So thank you so much, Devika. So I think we will move towards winding up the session. In case if any of you want to say something, जैसे कोई विशेष टिप्पणी आपके पास होगी, तो you all may please tell the participants also whatever maybe you've experienced or anything that you would like to share.
Okay, just from one of the questions, like she was asking if we are supposed to submit the SOP and portfolio together or something. So, you know, the form, if the Google link is on the website, just please go through the entire form right now, like after this session or today or tomorrow. First thing, go through the entire form. You'll get much more clarity of what all things you need, what all things you need to upload. Because if you open the form and start filling on the last day, it's too late. It's too late for that. Okay. So that's one thing you should do.
Yes. Thank you, Mrunal. I think that all architects also need to learn not to leave anything for the end minute.
Yeah, this happened with me also. I filled form last 2 days before. So I got to know that we have to submit thesis separately and the portfolio separately. So it's a like, if you start like go through the form from now onwards, so it will be, you will get a better idea what to submit and how to submit, and you will like make PDFs and attachments according to that. So
Yes, I think that's a very important point. क्योंकि end minute में एक तो दिमाग नहीं चलता, बहुत pressure होता है, and you want to definitely apply. There is less time and it's all a mess. So yeah, please start at least open the Google form and go through it today after this session. Yes, Sami, Prabaldeep.
I would like to, everyone covered everything, but on the light note, I would like to say campus life के बारे में कि SPA का actually वाले campus नहीं हो. We don't have a big green field, but we have a best location in Delhi. So we have a basketball. If you want to do cycling, you can go to India Gate. We have in front of DDA building, the ITPI building. You can do ET and everything. So I know you all are intense. Where with SPA you should go, where, so just fill your form on a calm mind and come to SPA and let's meet. We will eat, drink tea. Okay.
Yeah, actually, if any one of you comes, no, please come and say hi to us.
That would be great. Yes. Sami, Sandeepan, anybody? Any one of you?
I'll quickly answer one of the questions that has been asked, which asks that the planning courses are more oriented towards strategies and policies, or
Yes,
towards
I missed that question.
Designing. So the courses are actually very nicely articulated, very well articulated, and takes into account both these parameters, like policy making as well as the actual planning and designing proposal part. So both of them will be covered, and like as far as the points that needs to be covered, you should not worry about that, because the courses are very well planned and covers all the parameters.
Yes. Thank you, Sami. I missed that question, so thank you. And I think we have Sandeepan. Is he there? Okay, I think. So with that, we will conclude our session for today. In case if anyone has any questions, please message the ExamAssure team, and they will surely help you all to connect and get all your queries answered. So thank you. I hope it was a very helpful session and you all have got a little more clarity on what happens once you go to SPA Delhi, what are the courses, how do the courses work, or what do you basically study, and so on. So of course, once you experience it, that is going to be a lot more different, but I hope you've got a basic idea about it. So thank you and good night, and thank you to all of you, Himani, Sami, Mrunal, Prabaldeep, Devika, Sandeepan, Christina, all of you for joining us and giving us 2 hours. So thank you. Yes.
I will just add one small point. Okay?
Yes.
Please, on the website, there is syllabus is already given, so you can go through the entire syllabus. You can find out what all subjects are being taught. You can find similar, not the design, not the studio part, but theory subjects part. You can find similar courses on Swayam. So you can look at similar courses. You'll get an idea of what is taught in that subject. So that will open your mind up much more, and you'll be, more efficiently be able to write a SOP also. So you can try that.
I think that's a very good and important point. So, and that somewhere also helps you in your interview later on. So you have a little more idea also about what stream you've applied for and can tackle the questions accordingly as well. So thank you. I know a few of you had some submissions and so on and so forth, but thank you very much for taking out time. I hope it was a very helpful session for all of you. So thank you. Thank you guys. Yeah. Good night.